Hey guys, it's me again. Just wanted to do another video and share with you guys another great supporter of the DEEMS company and the DEEMS device, and another really wonderful story from one of the DEEMS family, and his name's Ben. So Ben, uh, just let's talk. Let's have a discussion and see. And what is your experience since you've had the DEEMS, or share whatever's on your heart.
Well, hey Chris, and hello everyone else. Yeah, I appreciate this conversation, by the way, because not only do I love this device, I actually really appreciate you, and I appreciate what you do for humanity. So it's a big deal for me to actually have this conversation. I wanted to say that. Yeah, so thank you.
You're welcome.
And yeah, I recently purchased my DEEMS device, and I wanted to purchase it for the first time I actually heard about it, and so I've been waiting quite a while to get it, but it happened to come at the right time for me because I had a few medical things happen, one being a hernia that I needed to have operated on. And so I literally got it at the time that I needed to, increase my healing. And not long after that, things improved with my hernia, and then just got a sort of random knee problem, which just all of a sudden my knee just started swelling up, with no real cause. I didn't injure it, but it just sort of popped up. And so I think having the device at this time, it's almost like having the device is triggered in me the things that really need to be sorted out. And one of the things I'd like to say as well is that I also joined the Telegram group. You've got the DEEMS family, along with all the other galactic groups out there. Shout out to Tina. And just lovely people, open, friendly, really awake people. And I mentioned on that group that I've got my device. Also mentioned that had a few things going on, and you put out a little message for me. And anyone would like to send some energy Ben's way. And yeah, I had a drastic change in the pain and the swelling, everything, literally straight away, after that message. And so I see this device as a it's like I was saying to you before, it's more of a portal that brings in true energy, or 0 point uncorrupted energy, let's say. And because I feel that we live in a very corrupted energy field. Like everything about our environment is literally trying to kill us or damage us. And so the device for me, holds that frequency. And so using that puts my field in that field. But I wanted to accentuate the fact that having a lot of people with the same intention, and I'm assuming most of the people had the device as well, it really magnifies this kind of healing. And yeah, I feel it's a revolutionary tool as well. It's like I was saying, we do live in a very toxic field at the moment, and bringing some things. I just want to point out with why. A lot of people talking about energy weapons. And it seems that there's lots of technology, but the technology is for not for us. It's very much used against us, and we, we're at the mercy of whatever they want to do, but it's not natural. And when I saw the DEEMS, what I felt about this was that this is the missing link of bringing technology back to the people, and it's free energy. It's a free energy device as well. It's because there's lots of devices out there, healing devices. I've looked into them, I've used them, but this, it comes across like it's quite basic, but I feel that's the profoundness of it, is that it's so, there's no buttons, there's no dials, you don't have to do anything. It's on all the time, and I don't see any negative. I can't see any negative product from it. So you can have it with you whenever, and it would always be helping you. So yeah, I'm just really glad to have it.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to get it, and I was able to get it out to you. I mean, it sometimes is kind of a long way, sometimes it's not, just depends where I'm at in the supplies and processes, but it always seems to arrive when it's supposed to, and I find that just remarkable. But so when you did get it and you started using it like on your knee and stuff, what did you do? Did you just like hover over it, or did you let it sit? Did you sleep with it in your bed? I mean, what was your method?
So a bit of all. I haven't slept with it yet because I'm worried it'll fall on the ground, or I don't want to break it.
Yeah.
I do have it sitting next to my bed, but yeah, no, I go between resting it on my knee, under my knee, because I've also got what's called a Baker's cyst, so there's a fair bit going on in my knee. But yeah, I try straight on, hovering above. I think just for sake of ease, I like to just leave it on my knee.
Yeah.
So yeah, and in my mind, it's an inflammation problem. So I've been using the red dot away to pull energy. So I feel like if I use the other way around, I could inflame it more, if that makes sense. Because I'm wanting to pull the energy out.
Right. Partly what it also does, I would try the energy in, because sometimes you need to supply the area with extra energy to get the blockages cleared, get the nervous system blockages pushed along. Because what happens when you have an injury and you get inflammation, or for example, if you cut yourself, like you cut your skin and it's open, the skin's opened, that the piezoelectric energy, the energy going through your nervous system, is dissipated out into the atmosphere. But if you have an injury that is contained under your skin and within your body, that energy can't escape. So it begins to build up and cause inflammation around the nerves. The nerves cause inflammation around the tissue. Then you also have other factors, pain, factors that come in. And it just creates this blockage. So your nervous system kind of is having a really hard time continuing that signal from the brain through the body. So pulling energy out is really good. And it depends on the circumstance and the individual, and even the person. The next time they use it, it may be the opposite for them. So you got to try it both ways, because what happens is, if once you kind of get some of that energy pulled out, then you want to put some energy in. Again, what that does is it encourages the nerves to continue firing without blockage, and then that will clear inflammation and help in tissue regeneration and healing.
Yeah, no, that's good to know. I've been trying both of them as well, just to, it's because yeah, I agree too. I feel that I don't pull everything out of it, so need something happening in there.
Yeah,
I was just thinking too with because I've watched your latest video, the chakra balancing, and just the moving it through the feet to the head. It's keeping the flow going as well.
Yes.
Rather than letting it just stagnate in the one spot.
Yeah, and that's it. Because we're not running around barefoot anymore. We're in shoes and we're in houses and we're off the ground and we're not grounding physically the way we should be to earth. And so when we're not grounding, then we're also not pulling energy out of the earth. That's why wild animals are so much healthier, for the most part, just because they're constantly being regenerated with that energy. And so this DEEMS just kind of helps to do that. So the better that energy flows through our body, the better our body's going to respond and heal. Even if it's just to pain relief or to actual physical healing or emotional healing, all of those are factors. So the more energy, the better.
Yeah. Well, it's I've been feeling with with the last 3 years. I think every emotional trigger we've ever had in our entire lives has been brought to the surface, and I feel that all these symptoms that I've got at the moment, I do feel are very much related to that as well, and also as a person who is interested in the cosmic and the galactic, I find myself not in my body as much as I should be. Energetically, emotionally, all of it, and so I think that these times are actually bringing us very much into our bodies. Especially especially the spiritual type of people, and the certain things that are being pushed around at the moment are it's making us very conscious of that. Conscious of our physical health as well as our spiritual health, but it's like you say, we don't all have grass we can go out and stand on, and so I think the technology should be used in that way. It should be used to ground us more, to connect us more to nature than to take us away, because I think every other technology is really pulling us out of our bodies. So it's
and the DEEMS doesn't do anything more than create a magnetic field and a piezoelectric field. And that the piezoelectric is the electrical system, the type of electricity our nervous system uses. It generates from the pineal gland. So that's all it does. It just generates a field. It does that 24/7 and it never changes. And so it's us that do the changes around it, but we're just using that natural energy. Our body chooses to use it, so it's not being forced into it. And so it's a very natural way. I don't think you could get any more natural in healing, than than piezoelectric and magnetic earth energy.
So. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that it's why it's different to most devices, because with anything you expect it to do something. You're waiting for some big bang to occur, but it's very much pulling taking the power away from the person, and putting it into whether it's a device or a doctor or whatever. So yes, something I'm definitely passionate about, because I am someone that likes to help people, but I'm going through my own sort of revelations on what it is to actually help people. It's the more you step in, the less you're actually helping, I think. So no, it's a new paradigm, I think, in healing, and I see the DEEMS device as a paradigm shifter as well. And I'm pretty excited about what your plans, the bigger versions and things that you've got in the works as well.
I'm excited about that too. It's taking a bit, it's gonna take a bit of time, but maybe in the spring, I'll have it, where we can offer it to some degree. But until then, we're literally building it from the ground up. Every part of it is either just a piece that we have to apply, or it's a piece we have to manufacture. So it is being built from the ground up. So it just takes a while for that to happen. And it's in trial and error. This is our prototype. So, something, we put up, we work on, see how it works. Doesn't work, we try another. That's a process. But yeah, I'm really excited about it too. Like I'm quite anxious. I'm like, oh, I'd love this to be out for people. But it's basically a DEEMS device, way amplified, and containing a magnetic field that's in containment. So the body can actually, use it in a much more efficient, faster way. So that's the concept.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited too.
It's amazing. It's Tesla put some things out there, and we all know what happened, but it's it's part of our reality now. I can see what you're bringing into the world is different, but not different. It's bringing this energy on a large scale to the world, which we need all the help we can get, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, in the same way, my whole concept is us understanding that it's us that do the healing. It's our body, it's our higher self, it's our soul, it's us. And yeah, sometimes we need a little help, and that's where it comes in, is to be of assistance, not to do all the work for you. And I think that's a really important thing for people to understand, is it's our ability to manifest or to actualize what we desire in this world. And yeah, we need to relearn that. We've forgotten it, but this is something that helps us do that. And with your intention, you put your intentions on any one thing, you can absolutely, accomplish anything in the world. We just got to remember that process.
Yeah. Well, I think you're a good example of this too, because, the DEEMS device came out of you, not the other way around. It's your energy and your remembrance, manifested it for us, and for yourself. So it does show that when we're in touch with who we are, our true selves, we bring it in, and that gets shared with other people.
Yeah. And the interesting, go ahead.
Oh, no, there you go.
No, I was just going to say, the interesting thing about that is that, the more we understand that we are in control of that process, the more powerful we become, and not the less. That was it.
Yeah, no, perfect. I do have this is a question I had in my pocket. So I remember, I hope I remember correctly. When I heard you talk about this in your interviews, and how you used a particular device when you were in the secret space program, and that's kind of where you remembered the science behind the DEEMS device. Was it to do with memory? Was it used to erase memory in your?
That's a good question. Yeah, the original one that I remember was used, and I used it for erasing blocks of memory from soldiers or from people. Then how that works is you just can't go in necessarily, and type into a computer, take out these memories out of this brain. It's not really how it works. Memories are based in DNA, your DNA. They're locked into your DNA, and they're outside of time, and they're outside of a dimensional, phase. So what you can do is you can go in, if you know the frequency, the frequency the pineal gland basically puts out is that person's individual frequency. And you say, yeah, there's 8 billion people. Well, yeah, there's trillions and trillions of frequencies. So there's plenty of frequency levels. You just have to know how to tune in. And when you can tune into that, then you can say, remove this block of memory from like Monday to Monday, for they take a week out of somebody's, so everything goes. You can't just take out the memory of an event. So they take out blocks. And that's what we did. Excuse me. So the DEEMS Okay, sorry about that, Ben. I kind of had a bit of a coughing attack, so I had to pause it for a moment. But if I recall, I was basically just talking about unable to the DEEMS device. It wasn't called the DEEMS, but the device that I remembered ever since a child was used to find that frequency of the pineal gland so that they could remove blocks of memory. And sometimes that's really a service, because some of those, some of the people, the soldiers especially, were really traumatized, and they would come to us. It's like, please take this memory out. I mean, they didn't want it because some terrible things happened. So it was like, I saw what I was doing as a service, but of course, being in that type of a environment, you do what you're told to do, and sometimes that is just removing like a lifetime of memory from someone, which was really kind of upsetting, but that's what they did to me, as we do that to everybody leaving the program. And so, so basically the long answer to your question is that it was used to both take and remove memory, and also to remove the consciousness out of the pineal gland and move it into, say, a clone. So they could actually move someone's consciousness with it, because if they have that frequency, they can easily do that. And they did it with me. This is my third clone, fourth body, and I was moved into a new body 3 times. So I'm not against it, because who doesn't want to get a brand new 25-year-old body again? It's not a bad thing necessarily, but so it actually saves lives by doing that as well. So it did both remove memory and transfer consciousness.
Well, that's a much better answer than I was seeking, because that's what I remembered. Well, I thought I remembered you'd said, and the reason I'm asking for myself personally is, I'm like, well, if these things were used to remove memory, are they also capable of retrieving memory? Because for myself, I don't have any conscious memory of any experience on your level, but since I've been in this space and researching and hearing other people's stories, the triggering is there for me, and the just the knowing of something is there, but nothing conscious. And I've got friends who have tuned in for me and mentioned that there seems to be some memory erasure within my field, and so and from their point of view, it was for a reason, like you mentioned. It can be to remove something that doesn't need to be remembered. But as someone as curious as myself, and I like to know the truth, and it's something I would like to retrieve if it's possible. So I just was curious, to get your perspective on that, and whether it's what you're brought into manifestation for us, whether there's any any kind of application really to that.
I think that anything that there's no memory retrieved, because that's not a random process. for the individual. Although I know we seem very alone here while we're on Earth, but we're really not. We have guides that we know intimately that know us, and we have a plan that we planned out for the whole entirety of our lifetime. And so there are many memories that, had I remembered those prior to remembering some other memories to build up to that bigger memory, I would have probably quit, or I would have been, disheartened or whatever, or not been able to process it. So it's not, I mean, it's up to us to do the work and do the seeking. Meditation's amazing for memory recovery. Because what we do is, I talk about there's three phases of our mind. There's our subconscious, our analytical mind, and our conscious mind. And so our analytical mind rejects things constantly, especially if they're outside the norm, or it goes against our belief system. Our analytical mind says, that's not true. You stay down there in the subconscious. You're not going to come up. Well, in meditation, when we're ready for certain memories, what we do is the process of meditation quiets that analytical mind. And so those subconscious memories can float up to the consciousness, and then we remember them. So it's not a random process. It's something you have to put work into. But things like the DEEMS device, giving extra energy, to our full energy body and our electrical system and our physical body, supports that type of work. So it's still the individual that has to do the work, but it is supportive of it. And I think a great many people just seeing the DEEMS device go, wait a minute, I remember something about this, and that happens quite often. An item or a moment will trigger at least the awareness of a memory, whether the memory really comes through or not. And memory is usually emotion first. You have an emotional response to something. You're like, why am I responding in this way? I don't understand. And then later on, you remember what the memory is that caused the emotional response. And so usually I find that the emotion comes in first.
Oh, well, yeah. Thank you. That's how I see it as well. I don't see this as the key to unlock the all of that, but yeah, I see it as a supporter to that, because I've had dreams since I've had this device that are more vivid, or have more of a galactic feel to it, that I think maybe, like you said, my conscious mind, hasn't given it the space to be in that context. So but again, this is a long game, I guess, and healing itself is a long game. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So you have any more questions? Any more?
I've probably got a million questions, but they'll probably go into a million different tangents. So
okay.
No, but no, I love having this device, and love being part of this community as well. It's just it's healing itself just to be connected to people that know what's going on, and I mean, not just on the ground know what's going on. It's the giant context of what is happening right now is so big in scale, and so it's an exciting time. And I just happy to be connected to people during this time, because it's, like you say, it is a lonely space to be in. So grateful for the community, and really grateful to you, Chris, for the device. And just one thing I have to say too is, there's a lot of people out there that are speaking truth, or whatever, and the thing that out for me, and why I keep listening to people like as yourself, is there's a humility there. You're real people. You're not out there to make money, be famous. You're simply there to share the truth and gifting people with technologies or you know, whatever. And you know, so I really appreciate that. And because there's so much disinformation, there's so much stuff being thrown at us that's just putting us, you know, off the path, out of ourselves, and yeah, just angry.
Yeah.
So yeah, so thanks for being one of those that is, you know, staying true in that heart space. So yeah, it's felt
I
for me
appreciate
personally,
that.
but yeah.
Yeah. You know, I see this as my great honor. It's a bit of a duty because I think it's a duty for anybody that's learned certain things, you know, had an awareness about certain things, to help people by sharing your information, you know, in a way that's respectful, you know. But I find it to be more than a duty. It's such an honor, you know, to have an opportunity to have any kind of platform and to share and to help people. I mean, there's just no greater thing in the world to me. So that's why I'm here, you know. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I think that we'll wrap this one up. You know, Ben, it's been really great to have you on, and just definitely keep me posted on how the device is working for you and anything new. And I look for you on Telegram, of course. You know, gosh, you know, any final words?
Yeah, well, I will definitely keep you posted. You'll be the first to know of any any upgrades or anything that's yeah, significant. But no, again, I'm just grateful, you know, grateful to have this conversation as well.
Great.
And yeah, I think we're going into a pretty exciting world. I feel like we're on the precipice of amazing things. But yeah, it's, you just got to stay strong and you know, stay true to yourself, and
Yeah.
and buy a DEEMS device.
Yeah.
If you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say goodbye, everybody, you know, and we'll see you on the next one. See you. Thank you again, Ben.
Thank you.